We're going to talk about reasons why you would want to have a vibrator on your truck. Sometimes it's not super obvious, or it doesn't seem like it's an extra expense that you don't want to have. So we're gonna go over some good reasons why you would actually want to make that investment. So today we're going to talk about just to cover a little bit, Martin Engineering in regards to vibration. We manufacture all different types of vibrators, whether it's for the truck market, right? You can go all the way down to the little ones used on salt spreaders, all the way up to the large dump body vibrators. And then there's hydraulics and pneumatics, like what you might have on grain trailers. And so that whole range of vibrators for the truck market. And then we also have the full range of vibrators for the industrial market. From vibrators that are as big as what you'd have on your foundry shakeouts and large mining operations, all the way down to little bin and hopper chute vibrators for even things as small as pharmaceuticals. And those products also, we have all the different power options, whether it's pneumatic, hydraulic, single phase electric, three-phase electric. We do explosion-proof motors, vibrators, so all of that. But today specifically, we're going to cover the truck market, the truck vibrators. Reason number one is increased productivity and profit. You know, the more you're able to keep your truck moving and hauling the material, the more money you make, right? So you think about how many times in manufacturing, right, we talk about value added things. And if it's not value added, it just costs you money, right? So anytime you got to stop to shovel, anytime you have to run an extra trip, anytime you stop for some reason to clean something out, you're not value adding. You know, your customer doesn't want to pay you for your time spent shoveling. And this guy here on the right cleaning out that, or trying to get salt broke free in his salt box, it's pretty early in the morning there, and he's got a contract that he only gets paid so much per year to do it. So every minute that he spent back there doing that instead of spreading salt, it's just money that it costs him. And same thing with this guy on the side of the road there cleaning out the box. Instead of on his way to get another load, he's sitting over there on the side. And I'm going to point out too, both of these pictures fall under a safety, right? You've got the guy standing on a truck bed that you can see has ice. You can see the ice there in the picture where his feet are. And then this he's out of his truck on the side of a road in a construction zone, which, we've all heard about accidents that can happen there. So what you'll notice today is a theme that most of the pictures I'm showing are going to be things that can cross over to several different categories of reasons why you would want vibrators pretty quick. So we look at this application here on the right. This particular mine had 25 to 30% carryback, and they have 15 of these trucks. So you think about that. That is one load lost every 4 trips, right? They run 24 hours a day, and they typically haul 50 loads in a day. So basically they're hauling 50 loads every day to get 40 multiplied by 15 trucks. This is what we did for them. We put there's 2 vibrators on this, one on each corner of the box on the opposite side here. You can kind of hear the vibrator running there at the end. The way they set this up, because they've got it runs so often and it dumps so much, they've got it set up so there's a proximity switch on the bed. So once the bed reaches a certain point, the vibrator kicks on automatically, and it stays on until they're done dumping and they drop it down, just because they want to make sure that everything comes out. And they also don't want to accidentally run the vibrator and the beds down. That's going to just compact your problem. But you can see how much of a difference that makes with these guys 25% times 50 times a day times 15 trucks. Needless to say, after they tried just the one trial unit, they were highly motivated to upfit the rest of the fleet as soon as absolutely possible. Third reason you would want to use vibrators is prevent tailgate damage. Tailgates can be damaged from, if you got stuck boulders falling, backhoes trying to clean out the box, or just the general wear and tear of the continued banging of the tailgate, right? And once again, it crosses over into several things. You think about productivity. This driver has to sit there and wait for this show to get over so that he can get on the road. And then you got safety, right? These guys are out of the cab. That thing tips over. That guy's in serious danger. Also, you notice he's grabbing the pin. If he doesn't get his hand out of the way just in time, every time, he's got some crushed fingers. Or if you have maybe they don't, these two guys aren't communicating. One guy sticks his hand in there because he thinks they're done. So, but that tailgate is getting damaged, right? And when you have tailgates damaged, now you have to worry about, as you're going down the road, if you've got a tailgate that's got a bent into it or something, now you got to worry about rocks falling out and creating problems with, cars behind you getting damaged and people wanting to sue you for creating that issue. And so we'll move on here. We got number 4. Vibrator is going to help you decrease workers' comp claims. Basically, we got 41% of dump truck deaths. 41% of them involved a worker that's on foot. This guy on the right, he falls. If you look at this guy on the left, there's a lot more material there. If he falls and his impact on that tailgate causes all of this material to come loose, now he's crushed. He's just got buried in all this material that doesn't want to move. Hopefully he can breathe till somebody gets him dug out. Lots of danger here. So here's another situation showing a guy that's out of the truck. Not very safe. But luckily we don't have to watch him fall out and get run over by one of the tires or anything. And moving on to reason number 5, you're going to reduce time spent shoveling. So you think about it, shoveling is both a drain on productivity and a workers' comp risk. You notice the guy on the right there, the bed is at an angle to make it, it's easier to shovel, but well, the bed's at an angle, so there's a little bit more danger. And then the other thing that's not talked about much with shoveling is it's a big drain on your morale, right? Like you think about, I got an application where the guy got one vibrator installed on one of their trucks, and then all his drivers fought about, which guy got to be the guy driving the truck that had the vibrator that day, because nobody else wanted to have to do this. And in this video here, what you don't see is there's a conversation that goes on where the guy's shoveling, this sucks. And then the supervisor says, so what are you going to say the next time I ask you to clean out trucks? And he says, I'm busy. So, yeah, so there's a morale issue there too, right? Not just the time and that what you got to pay these guys to do it. They're not shoveling for free. So you're losing productivity, you're losing money, you're losing time, and nobody likes it. So you're losing some morale there too. Number 6, with the backhoe, backhoe marks can create damage. They're going to exaggerate the problem because if you damage a box, right, it's just like hammer rash on a typical bin. Any dent or scratch you put into the vessel that's holding the material, that just creates a stick point where it might want to hang up and not flow as well. And I think that's what you see in this video when the backhoe right there where it catches, Well, why did it catch? What's going on in that box? There's probably some damage already in the floor of that box that created that situation where it caught, and then the material just wants to catch even more. If you have a liner, it's very easy to get that liner damaged if you got something like this backhoe going on here. Number seven, the number seven reason why you would use vibrators is it's going to help stop drivers from wanting to slam on the brakes or jerk the transmission, um, like that there. So if you think about that, puts wear and stress on your brakes. It's not great for your transmission. It's really bad on the cylinders. I had Hiva cylinders. Their main factory in Brazil contacted me one time about uh, they were interested in putting vibrators on every cylinder package they sold in Brazil because they were having so many problems with the drivers damaging their cylinders because of things like this, that they were looking at ways to protect their cylinders. So you know that there's damage being done to the cylinders when you do this. It's bad for the box, it's bad for the tailgate, and it also falls into safety. If you think about what happens there, if that box in the video that I just had, let's say there was a bunch of material stuck in the top, a lot of material instead of that small thin layer across the whole box. You know, sometimes you'll get a large chunk in the corner or in the top. Now it's super top heavy. And while it's top heavy, you're moving the truck and you're jamming the brakes or slamming it in reverse or whatever you're doing to try to get that material to come loose while it's very top heavy and unstable. And when you look at this picture on the right, I'm going to assume that that's actually what happened here, because you notice that that box, that truck is farther ahead than the first one, because when it fell over, it was probably moving forward. The guy was probably moving forward and jerking it around, trying to get the material to fall out. And instead, the truck just fell over on the other truck. And this one on the left, they used those flaps on chains. You can see them in the corner where they had two layers of these up in here. They had two layers of these flaps to try to get the material to fall out. Well, one of the flaps worked and the other one didn't, and then the truck fell over. That covers the actual 7 reasons. So I want to go in a little bit here. We're going to talk about the fact that we do have some resources that will give you good rules of thumb on what type of vibrator is for what type of application, because it's not really a one size fits all, right? Because too much vibration can cause different problems. And there's different types of vibration. There's rotary, there's linear, depending on what material you're trying to move. And there's also your power supply available. And this is just a slide to kind of talk about all sorts of different applications. So we'll go here, like this one up here on the top left, that's a volumetric mixer truck with a piston vibrator. And here you have a vacuum truck with a DC electric. This truck here, you've got the roll-off hoist set up and the vibrator is mounted to this frame. Here's another articulated off-road truck showing the 2 vibrators. You can see the hydraulic lines running to each corner, similar to the application we showed the video of earlier. Here's a salt spreader, and you can see the reinforcement plate there. This trailer here is organic waste. They had this material stuck in there for over a week before they added the vibrators. And you can see the floor is nice and smooth, but it gets caught up in these corrugated sides and the material wants to hold together. Here we got a potato truck, and this sandbox down here, this is for frac sand. So it's just another application showing a mobile with vibrators that are made for mobile devices.